My love, and welcome to a very gloomy, rainy Sunday in my life. Today we're doing a full life reset and I couldn't be more excited. I just made my iced latte and I'm just taking a moment to get cozy before jumping into everything. The goal for today is to get everything in order for a new season and to feel refreshed and inspired for spring. So we're gonna do a little bit of everything. I'm gonna clean the entire apartment, do some organizing, some goal setting. I'm gonna meal prep and of course do some self-care as well. I think spring is just the perfect time for a fresh start, so if you're watching this, maybe this is your sign to put on a comfy outfit, make a nice drink and do some resetting with me. Whether that's just tidying a small corner of your home or resetting your phone, I would love it for you to join me. I'm thinking I'm gonna start with cleaning, but before we dive into that, I'm just gonna sit here for a while, sip my coffee and have a little scroll on Pinterest. I think for me, spring is just prime time for new inspiration, whether that's for my home or fashion or learning new things or updating my routines. So of course I'm gonna go to Pinterest for some inspiration. If you're interested in following me on Pinterest, I'll leave my account in the description. I know we're at the end of March and it's not really the start of spring anymore, but it's never too late for a good life reset. I just feel like now is when I need it. In 2 days, it's the 1st of April, which means it's the start of a new quarter of the year and a perfect time to touch up with your goals and reset, get everything in order. I am just feeling so motivated and ready for this, so I hope you find this video to be motivating or at least just enjoyable to watch. But thank you so much for clicking on it and let me know what you think down below. Mwah! Okay, it's about time we get started on the cleaning and we have a lot to do. I just switched into a different outfit and I also just made a little checklist, spring cleaning checklist. So this is everything I want to get done for cleaning. Declutter, water plant, change candles out, throw out dead flowers, strip my bed, take out the trash, do laundry, vacuum, clean the bathroom, clean the kitchen, clean all surfaces, and clean mirrors. And that's about it. Wait, should we add wash floors? Excuse my handwriting. Okay, this is everything we want to get done for cleaning, and I want to just get it done as quick as possible because we have a lot to do today, so that's the schedule. But let me just show you the terrible state of my apartment. So when you walk in, it doesn't look that bad. I'm not a generally messy person, but if you look close, there are just lots of things that need to be tidied up for it to look nicer. But the main problem here is the dishes. So I don't have a dishwasher, which means sometimes my dishes will pile up. This is definitely what I'm worst at, and it doesn't usually get this bad, but we definitely need to do the dishes. I have some dead flowers over there. I need to change out all my candles. So all in all, it doesn't look too bad, but if you look close, it's definitely in the need of a good deep clean. Another big thing I want to get done today is I have so much laundry piled up down here that we need to do. So we have a shared laundry basement in my apartment unit where I booked 2 hours, 3 machines for 2 hours in about 30 minutes. So let's get started on cleaning, do all my laundry so we can move on to the more fun things when the apartment is all clean. But let's get started. I'm thinking I'm gonna put on my headphones, listen to my audiobook, maybe some music, bang out some Taylor Swift. I'm sorry I can't put it out loud because then I'm gonna get copyrighted, but let's do this. So I just sat down at my kitchen island and made myself a little quick lunch and a cup of tea. It is 1:30 now and I cleaned the entire apartment and it's looking so good in here. I don't think it's been this clean since I moved in, to be honest, so it feels amazing. And it didn't take too long. I spent like 2-3 hours on it and I've done most of my laundry. I still have some laundry down in the dryer, but now I thought while I sit down and eat a little bit and have a cup of tea that I would do a little digital reset. So something I like to do every now and then and keep up with is I like to clean out my computer, delete any files that I'm not using, clear out my downloads folder, clear out my email inbox, stuff like that. Another thing I really like to do is go through my social media on my phone and kind of like declutter who I'm following, so make sure I'm only following people who bring me joy and inspiration and feels like a positive addition to my life, and any accounts that I feel like I'm not getting anything from, I prefer to unfollow every now and then. I also like to look at my screen time. I'm always trying to bring down my screen time on my phone, so look at my statistics and maybe set some new automatic ways to keep my screen time down. So for example, on my phone every day at 9 until 8 a.m. the next day, all of my apps just lock basically, except for a very limited amount of apps. I also have different focus modes on my phone that are actually set by location. So when I enter the gym, the only apps I can use on my phone is like Spotify and different apps that I use for my workouts. And when I arrive at work, the only apps I can open are apps that I need to use while at work. Oh, the sun is coming out now. Would you look at that? Amazing. So that's just a few things I like to do to make sure that my screen time isn't too high. I'm also just gonna quickly look over my finances. We're at the end of a month, so I can look back at how I've spent my money this month and if there's any like goals I want to set for next month, or maybe look over my budget. I like to look at my calendar and just get like up to date with everything that I have planned for this next month. Then I also had the idea that I would make a little spring bucket list. So I'm just gonna sit here and do my thing and have a little snack time, and then I'll check in with you a little bit later. Hi there. So I just did my little digital reset and it feels so good to get that done. And oh my god, the sun is finally out after a super rainy day. But I also just made my little spring bucket list, and I'm sorry my handwriting is terrible, but let me tell you what's on the list. The first thing I'm thinking we're gonna tick off today, which is buy myself flowers. And I don't need it to be spring to do this. I do it almost every week. I love having fresh cut flowers in my apartment, and obviously it's the sort of thing you have to buy over and over again because they don't last very long, unfortunately. But I'm thinking I'm gonna get myself some beautiful spring flowers today. The next thing on my bucket list is to go to a flea market. I was actually at a flea market last weekend, but there are so many flea markets here. I love to do that. It's my favorite spring activity, so definitely doing that. The next thing is I want to go on a long bike ride. If you watch my channel regularly, you will know that I go on my bike every day to go to work, but every now and then it's really nice to go on a really long bike ride in the sunshine and maybe somewhere with lots of nature and just enjoy, and it's not like a commute. Next thing is to go on an Easter trip. James and I are probably gonna go to my family's summer cottage for Easter, which I'm very excited about. The next thing I have is, I think is really cute, is to go feed ducks. I don't really know where I have to go from Copenhagen to find a place where I can feed ducks, but I'm gonna have to find that out. The next thing is to make spring nails at home. So I used to get my nails done all the time, but it was just too big of an expense. The next thing, again, maybe we'll take this off today. Bake something. I never ever bake anything, but I'm feeling like that would be a cute thing to get into a little bit. So it's probably not going to be very good because I'm gonna have to learn first. And I only have a very small kind of like play oven. It doesn't feel like a real oven, but I'm sure we can bake a banana bread or something in there. So the next thing I want to do is to go to a farmer's market. I am not sure we have a farmer's market in Copenhagen, so if you have any recommendations, leave them down below, but I'm sure if I do enough research I'll find somewhere, because that's spring activity number one. Then I have read outside. You guys know I love to read, and I am just so excited for it to be spring so we can start reading outside. Then I have try a new craft, and I don't really know what this is gonna be. I was thinking maybe like try to make some air dry clay mugs or something. My mom has been trying to teach me how to crochet for years, but maybe this is the year I need to learn how to make a little cloth some kind of new craft, or to just do like a spring craft. Second to last is I want to go on a walk in the forest or somewhere like very nature based. Maybe this can be combined with feeding ducks. I want to go somewhere out of the city and go on a really lovely nature walk. And then the last one I have is to go look for cherry blossoms. So it's a bit too early still, I think, but there is a cemetery in the north of Copenhagen that has this beautiful cherry blossom like boulevard with trees on both sides. That's so beautiful in the spring that I can't wait to go to. And that is my spring bucket list. So that's so exciting to make a little bucket list and romanticize it a little bit and have this little thing that I can look at when I don't know what to do and take some of these things off. And I'll probably do some of them in my coming videos, so that's really exciting. But I'm thinking the weather is like, it's rain and then sunshine, rain and then sunshine. It's officially spring, you guys, but I'm thinking I'm gonna dress appropriate, get outside, go on a walk. I have some shops I want to hop into. I'm definitely gonna do some groceries. I also have some different bits and bobs that I have run out of that I wanna buy. And then I was thinking maybe we could go check out some spring decor somewhere, see if there's anything we can't live without, but mostly just to get outside and move our bodies a little bit. So let's go on a nice walk. Again, I'm gonna listen to my audiobook. I'm currently on the 3rd book of the Windy City series, and I'm actually loving this series. So the first book was a flight attendant and a hockey player. That was not my favorite. I enjoyed it, but then the second book I actually loved was another flight attendant with a basketball player. And then now I'm on the 3rd book, which is a baseball player, and he falls in love with his nanny, which amazing. We love a little bit of forced proximity kind of situation. So definitely enjoying this book. So I'm gonna be listening to this and going on my little walk. Let's go! I made it, even though as soon as I left the house it started pouring down with rain. Luckily I brought an umbrella. I went on a long walk and I went into a little shopping mall here in the area where I live, where I went into Normal and I got a few bits that I needed. Then I went into this really cool shop called Basic and More, which sells home decor, but hold on, let me close the window. Basically their whole thing is that they go to other brands and then they buy all the like flawed items. So it could be a little mug with a chip in it or something like that, and they sell it at Basic and More for a reduced price. And they have so many cute things in there, and it's very cheap, but I never need anything in there, so I didn't buy anything today. Then I went into Flying Tiger, and they had lots of like Easter and spring decor, but it is very cheap. It also looks very cheap. I always like go in there hoping I'll find something amazing, even though I just don't ever find anything I want. But they did have a lot of cute things, but it does feel like almost like baby shower items when all the shops put out their Easter decor and their spring decor. I did pick up one fun thing from Flying Tiger. Earlier when I was making my spring bucket list, I mentioned that I would love to do a craft, some kind of spring themed craft, and that I would also like to go shopping for decor. So I combined the two and I bought this cute little set with little eggs that you can paint yourself. It comes with a paint and a brush and this little egg tray with 4 little eggs you can paint. And it's probably not gonna look like very professional, but you guys know every now and then I like to do a little craft, get a little creative. So I'm thinking this is gonna be really fun, cozy time to sit and do this one of these days. I also did groceries. I bought myself some flowers, as I mentioned I wanted to do, and I got groceries for meal prepping. So I'm thinking we're gonna meal prep a bit later. It is almost 5 p.m. now, so the day has gone by so quickly, but we have gotten a lot of stuff done. I just sat down for a while because I just uploaded my YouTube video for today, which is a work day in my life, like a day in my life working 9 to 5 here in Copenhagen. So if you haven't watched that yet, I'll link it somewhere up here and you can go check it out. I had so much fun making that video and I put a lot of effort in, so I really hope that if you have watched it that you enjoyed it. But enough talk, let's go take a lovely bath. With any good reset routine, you also need to reset your body. So of course I'm gonna take a bath today, and I'm probably gonna use a cute little bath bump and have a lovely self-care moment. Let's go do it. I just finished the self-care portion of today's reset and it was amazing. I feel so good. I took a nice long bath, then I shaved and I did my laser hair removal treatment while having on a face mask and whitening my teeth at the same time and putting lotion all over my body. So now I am squeaky clean and the apartment is squeaky clean. I have the diffuser going. I couldn't be happier. The only thing is it is getting quite late now. It's almost 8 p.m. So let's get cooking. And luckily I got the groceries to meal prep something super simple. So we're just gonna make a lovely pasta salad for dinner tonight and to have for dinner for the next few days. So let's get started on that. finished cooking. Let me show you. I had to transfer it to a bigger bowl. This one is huge and I made this beautiful, ridiculously huge bowl of pasta salad and I'll be eating this for days and days. Super simple. It just has pasta, spinach, cucumber, tomato, bell pepper, tuna, feta, cheese, olives. I think that's it, and then just salt and pepper and some olive oil. And yeah, can't wait to dive into this. My dinner was absolutely delicious, and that was everything on my to-do list for this reset day. And it's been a long but very productive and cozy and lovely day, and I got everything I wanted to do done, so I'm very happy with that. I didn't get around to baking because I just didn't have the time, so that's one of the bucket list items that I will have to do another day, but that's totally fine. But yeah, it's 9 p.m. now, and in a moment I'll be getting ready to go to bed, but I am gonna spend the rest of the evening reading my book. As you may know, I'm currently reading The Crimson Moth by Kristen Sigarelli, and I am really enjoying it. I haven't made it very far because I've been very busy recently, but definitely enjoying this. I've spoken about it on my channel multiple times, so I won't bore you with it before I'm done, so let's just leave it at that. But before I get into reading my book, I thought I would share with you my little spring TBR. Today I was looking at my bookshelves and I was thinking, so what are some books that I've been putting off because they weren't really fall themed, they weren't really like winter reads. I have a few books on my shelves that are like such perfect spring reads, and I thought I would just put them together and make a little spring TBR for you guys. Here is my spring TBR, so let me go through it. Hopefully I'll get to read more books than this. Will I? I don't know. These are the physical books I want to read. Of course, I'll also be listening to audiobooks like I always do, but I kind of just go with vibes on that one. And I might change my mind and want to read something else, but for now, I think I'm very excited about this TBR. So the first book on my list that I really want to read this spring is Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Gaber, and I have just heard so many amazing things about this one. It's supposed to be like kind of a modern fairy tale. It looks really cute, obviously, but I think it's not all cute from what I've heard. This is the first in a series that's kind of like a part of the Caraval universe, which is another series by Stephanie Gaber that I haven't read, but I've been asking around, and as far as I can tell, people aren't really big fans of the Caraval series, so I had no intentions of reading that, but then this one everyone loves. I actually asked Ellen Miller, which is one of my favorite book content YouTubers here on YouTube. I'll link her down below. When she suggested this book, I asked her whether I had to read Caraval first, and she said she didn't, and she had a great experience reading this. So I'm gonna do like her and read this book without reading the Caraval series first. Very excited about this. Next up is a book that I picked up in one of my previous videos in a thrift shop in England, The Song of Achilles, which is like a Greek mythology romance, which I'm very excited about. And they're still selling this in like all the bookshops and stuff, so I was very lucky to find this for like £1 in a thrift shop. So £1.50 it says here on the back. That's also on the list. I feel like, yeah, Greek mythology, that feels like spring vibes. Next up is not very spring related. It is just time for The Ashes and the Stagcursed King by Carissa Broadbent, which is the second book to The Serpent and the Wings of Night, so the Crown of Nyaxia. Nightborn Duet, book 2. A Crowns of Nyaxia novel. I actually really am having trouble figuring out the orders of the books in this series, because this one says The Nightborn Duet, book 2, but if it's a duet, then why do I feel like there is way more than two books in this universe? If someone can explain, please let me know. I read The Serpent and the Rings of Night in the fall and I enjoyed it, but is it time to read this one then? Or is there something else I have to read before? Otherwise I'll get started on this one. It's been on my shelf for a long time and I really enjoyed the first one, so I have no excuse for not reading this earlier except there are just so many good books I want to read. Next up is a series that is actually crazy that I haven't started yet. I think it's because I would usually choose to listen to this kind of genre instead of read the physical copy, but the app I use to listen to audiobooks, they don't have it on there for some reason, so I've just been putting it off and off and off. So I'm gonna have to get started on the physical copy of the Chestnut Springs series. I think that's what it's called. I can't find it. So Flawless is the first in the Chestnut Springs series by Elsie Silver, and it's supposed to be like a modern cowboy bullfighter, maybe something? Bull riding. I know nothing about this series except people treat it as a like contemporary romance religion. So, and I have all the books on my shelf because I found them like at a super good price in England once. So yeah, definitely time for this one. It's been on my shelf for a year, I think, if not more. And then lastly is another book that I've been, for some reason, I've been putting off. Maybe because I just love the first book so much. I have such high expectations and I'm scared that the magic will not last. The second book in the Magnolia Park series. This is Daisy Hates by Jessa Hastings. And if you have not read this series, well, again, I've only read the first one, so that's the only one I can actually recommend, but that book really has a special place in my heart. I thought it was absolutely stunning, and people always say that this is like a British Gossip Girl kind of story, but I just really love her writing and the characters, and yeah, I just got sucked up into this world in these young rich kids in London, and I just love the covers as well. But yeah, for some reason I have not started the second book in the series for so long, even though it's been a full year since I read the first one and loved it. So definitely time this spring. I think it's because I felt like it was a spring read, so I've been putting it off. Now it's spring, now it's time. And that is my little spring TBR stack. So I think I am gonna make myself a cup of tea and snuggle up with the Crimson Moth for a little while before I go to sleep. But thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found it enjoyable and motivating, and that maybe it inspired you to go do some resetting of your own life. I definitely just feel so good. I feel so zen all the way into my bones, just knowing I'm clean, my space is clean, all of my clothes are clean. I just couldn't be happier, and I feel so ready to start a new week tomorrow. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to let me know what you thought about this video down in the comments, and remember to like and subscribe if you like the video as well. So thank you again so much for watching, and have a beautiful day. Mwah.